Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. You are listening to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, and this is episode 34, How I Manage My Anxiety and Stress While Running 2 Companies. So, yep. We all have anxiety. We all have stress. I would have to say that business owners or people who have a full-time job and are doing a side hustle have even more. That's the catch, right? That's the catch to going after your dreams, achieving that financial freedom, and making things happen. There is a heaping load of anxiety and stress to manage. Some of us do better at it than others. Most of us have to learn along the way on what works for us, what doesn't. I'm someone who's filled with a lot of self-will and forcing and pushing type mentality and energy, kind of like, yeah, it's painful, I'll push through it. And that doesn't work. It didn't really end well for me. So I am diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder anyway. So I already have had a lifetime of learning how to manage just that generalized type anxiety to begin with, right? And then I have had a pretty high stress, intense lifestyle filled with, a major career, lots of travel, lots of everything, right? So I really had to figure out what works for me. And at different times in our lives, different ages and stages, certain things work or don't work that used to, and we've got to always check in and figure it out. So I want to share with you some things that I've learned along the way that really help me manage that anxiety and stress. And perhaps it's something that you could consider for yourself that maybe you haven't considered before, or this might just be an episode where you're feeling really damn validated and you're going, this chick is worth, millions of dollars, and she still has, a lot of stress and anxiety. Money doesn't take it away, just like money doesn't take away sadness or depression. And we see that, with celebrities who sadly end their own lives. I mean, it just doesn't. It doesn't take it away. Sometimes it's actually a chemical imbalance we have, without getting too medical on you guys. So there's no amount of money or, where you live, or if you're on a beach somewhere and never working again, that can take it away, because it's actually in our chemical makeup. And then a lot of it is in our own mindset and beliefs and bad habits that we've picked up from childhood or significant relationships throughout the years. So one of the things that I do on the daily to manage my anxiety and stress is daily mindset work. And it's not just like, first thing when I wake up in the morning and I have this 30-minute window and that's going to be my mindset work of the day. No, this is all day long. This is peppered throughout my day. That's not enough for me to just, set my mind right in the morning. That's great, but that's not enough. It just isn't. I look at it like managing your stress, managing your mind is similar to drinking water, right? You're not going to drink 3 liters of water in the morning and then not drink water the rest of the day. Oh, I got my allotment for the day. I drank 3 liters in the morning. It just doesn't work that way. We have to do it all throughout our day and our evening, especially if we're going through, high peak stressful times in our personal family life and or business, or both, or everything and all the above, because that seems to be how life works, right? It's like shit hits the fan all at once, seems to be how it happens. So I do start when I wake up. I have these really cool daily readers, as they're called, as apps in my phone, but they also sell them as books. And even if you type into like Amazon daily stress relief readers, or you start looking at daily readers in the App Store, or whatever it is, it's really cool. A lot of authors put together a book where there's 365 pages, and every single day, June 1st, September 3rd, whatever it is, there will be a new passage to read, and there's usually a quote included too. And then the daily reader is really around a subject. One of my favorite daily readers is Women Who Do Too Much. A dear friend of mine gave it to me, and it was like, if someone's giving me this book, I probably, and the book and the daily reader, every single page resonates with me. Maybe I am doing too much, but that's one of my favorite ones. And how random is that? It's very specific, right? It's for women who are burning out, who just do it all, do too much. And the passages help ground me and calm me down and give me some food for thought for the day and help me slow down. So there's ones that are focused on stress, in particular stress. There's ones that are focused on health. There's manifestation. There's addiction. There's all different ones you can find. So I will read those, and then I'll just think about it for a little bit. I also do some writing. I tend to turn a lot of my writing into my social media posts. So it's like a twofer. Unless it's something I'm really working through that I'm not comfortable sharing, but writing really helps me, which I used to avoid like the plague. But as I like to say, the truth always comes out when you write, whether you're typing or you're actually, writing with a pen. It's amazing what comes out. And then I ask myself a key question. I sometimes do it out loud. I have no shame in my game. Or I think it. Tiffany, what do you need to feel good and nurtured today? What do you need? I hope you guys can't hear Molly barking, but probably you can. And that's okay. See? We'll get to that stress step later, but I'll come back to that one. So ask yourself what you need. What would feel good? What would feel good today? What would make you feel nurtured, peaceful, whatever your desired feeling is, right? Maybe it's inspired. Ask yourself, and what comes to your head first. The first few things that come to your head are your truth, and honor those. And your brain might say back, oh, I don't have time to do that. I have to take the kids here, there, and elsewhere. Oh, I don't have time to do that. I have too much stuff to do at work. Okay, well, you are going to find a way to weave it in your day. That's just what you have to do. That's part of the process. Sometimes mine is, I really want extra sleep, but I have to get up. Maybe I have meetings, I have commitments, whatever it is. Okay, then I am mindful and I honor and listen to myself, and I say, okay, how can I plan some rest into my day? Okay, after those 2 meetings, I can then, lay down for a half an hour, or I can go for a nice walk, or I find a way to plan it into my day. If not, the consequences are far too great for me. And those of you who suffer from anxiety or extreme stress will understand that for sure. Okay, let's move on. So another one is faith. And when I say faith, a lot of people who are not religious go, oh no, she's going to talk about God. And well, I do use the word God. God, to me, you can plug it in whatever you want. God, the universe, spiritual being. I use the word God. I'm not talking about any particular religion. I'm talking about something greater and grander than yourself. Spirit, your higher self, who created all the beautiful oceans and the plants in the world. That's what I'm talking about. And I remind myself to have faith. I am not in charge. I am in charge of actions that I take, but I'm not ultimately in charge. I don't have to do everything, force everything, make everything happen. Truly, most of the things that happen, I can take actions towards it, but the actual outcome really isn't in my hands. It's in the universe's hands. It's in someone else's hands. It's not in mine. And it helps me let go from grasping a hold of things too tightly. What if this doesn't happen? What about this? What can I do? That doesn't serve me. It fills me with anxiety. It has my brain going 1,000 miles per hour, which isn't good for my health. And it's also not good for my relationships or my business. I mean, it just isn't. My entire brain just goes like a freaking spaz. And you lose your creativity, you lose your focus, you lose so much. So I have faith, something that works for me. Some people refer to it as a God box, but you can come up with any name you want. You can call it a faith box. Take a shoe box or get a cute little box at like a Michael's craft store or something. I mean, they're literally like $1. And you can decorate it on the outside with stickers or something if you want, or you can leave it plain and write on a piece of paper, one piece of paper per each thing that you're worried about, you're concerned about, that's stressing you out. And you write it and you literally say, I'm letting go of this. I'm turning this over. I pray for the best outcome for myself and everyone else involved, and you put it in your box. It's a physical gesture of letting go and having faith. That really, really helps me. And when I go back through that box months later, or even a year later, all those things were taken care of and they all worked out for the greatest good of all. That doesn't mean they weren't sad or upsetting, but some things, just are, right? Like a death or something like that. It might be tragic, but it's part of life. It is what it is. So there's some of those, but most of them they worked out for the greatest good. And I'm thrilled I turned it over, because chewing on it, thinking about it, obsessing over it, ruminating on it, it actually doesn't help at all. It makes other things in other areas of my life much worse. So then there is a really great question that a dear, dear friend of mine loves to remind me of, because I do forget sometimes. And it's, how important is it really? So when you're tripping out about someone cutting you off in traffic, or someone giving you the wrong coffee at Starbucks, or a client kind of being testy with you, or you didn't make as much money this month as you thought you were going to, or as you hoped for, or you're out of toothpaste and you don't have any more in the house and your husband used the last of it and now you have no toothpaste, whatever it is, and you start feeling yourself getting anxious, revved up, stressed, angry, irritated. Do your best to pause, or take, Post-it notes or whatever, put it on your phone, put it in your phone of how important is it really? Most of the time we get revved up about things that in the grand scheme of life really aren't that important. And then it helps siphon out the stuff that genuinely is important, like our health. Most things are not that important, right? I can get stuck on a lot of things. That's part of having anxiety. And usually it really isn't that important. That's not discounting that it's not frustrating, upsetting, sad, whatever it is. But how important is it to really ruin your whole freaking day or week over it? And does that solve anything? That's the secondary part of the question. Let's go with, I'm not making as much money as I want to. Let's just go with a general one, because everyone has these general go-tos that get them all stressed out and upset. I'm not making as much money as I wanted to, or my sales aren't as good as I hoped. Okay. So how important is that really? Well, it's really important. I need money. Is it life or death? No, it's not. Okay. Is stressing about this and obsessing over this helping me achieve this goal or achieve my desired outcome? The answer is no. Okay, there you go. Now we're done. Now it's up to you to let that go. Like it sounds like I've oversimplified it. But I need to keep things very simple. And most people have an anxious or stressed brain. Simple and short and impactful things we say or read or remind ourselves of work the best. Too many words, not enough clarity. When your brain is racing and your whole body is all anxious and stressed, we can't hear it. It's not a good signal interrupt, right? So that's why it's such a good thing. How important is it really? And is obsessing over it or being upset over it going to help achieve the desired outcome? Done. Okay. And then I will say for the last two, I'll kind of put them together a little bit, is ask for help. I'm sure you've heard that one before. A lot of us roll our eyes. I used to, or I'll go, oh, I do ask for help. I do get help. I feel like I need even more help, or I can't afford right now to pay for more help. Okay, well, you got to figure out a way, right? There's always a way to get more help, or perhaps you have too many things on your plate and it's unrealistic at this time. I'll give an example. I want all sorts of palm trees and different things added to my already beautiful backyard. Okay, that's great. I have a lot of things on my list like that, like desired things. Okay. I have that on my list. I have travel that I need to plan for December that I've not done. These are all desired things, are not life or death things. But I could go down a whole path with that and be like, I need more help. I have all these things to do. Well, first you have to pare down what you have on your list, because some of those things on your list are just like nice to haves or, highly desired, but like they can wait. And so that also takes my stress level down. Like, again, you can apply how important is it really? Like when I said earlier, I didn't know if you could hear Molly barking in the studio, even though we have the door shut on her. She's loud. How important is it? Would I have really stopped the episode or gone, oh my God, said to my producer, we need to edit that out. And what am I going to do about Molly this and Molly that? Well, so what? How important is it really? And if I really am that bothered of it and it affected my mojo or it pissed you guys off enough, well, then I would have to ask for help or suggestions on what to do with her and find a solution to put her somewhere else during this time. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just not that important. And then the last thing I would say, my favorite word, and it's a word that is also a complete sentence, and that is no. I love saying no. It's so empowering. Just say it with me right now. No, 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 no. You can say no. Say no. If it doesn't sound exciting, empowering, impactful for your business, it causes you additional anxiety or stress, and not that kind of good stress, which is more like nervous, going out of your comfort zone stress, like stress where it makes you like sick and feel icky and filled with dread and doom. Say no. And you don't have to offer some lengthy, ridiculous explanation either. That took me more time to get better at. But simply, no, I do not have the time for that right now, but thank you so much. You can still be polite when you say it, but you don't have to offer some big explanation. It's just, that's that. And it'll feel so good and it will take so much off your plate. And I don't care if it's a family member, a friend, whatever. There'll be a whole episode on saying no, because there's a lot that goes with it. Because a lot of people don't like when you say no, but that's about them and not about you. and you're listening to this episode about you to manage your anxiety and your stress to achieve inner peace and tranquility and serenity while managing all the things that you do on a daily life. You're not inside their brain, right? You're not inside their brain. You're managing yours. I hope this gave you guys some peace of mind, some skills, some techniques to consider on lowering your stress level and managing it on a daily basis. But if you were to take away one thing, I would say this is an all day long process to pepper in throughout your day. This isn't just like a massive dose in the morning or the evening or one yoga class or one meditation that's going to do it. It needs to be woven in throughout your day. So as always, wishing you guys great health, wealth, and worth. Have a wonderful day. Bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.